if the cluster manager goes down, what are the issues we will be facing, or what are the functionalities it will not work? Can anyone explain this? Okay.
No one wants to
Index
talk.
No.
Yes, Monica.
Yeah.
indexing will get stopped, and the
Okay.
searching also will get stopped after 72 hours. Right?
Right.
Okay.
Okay. Okay.
And data replication got stopped
Yes.
between the indexes.
Yes, that's correct.
Yes, Vinit. Do you want to add anything?
No, I think.
Okay. Great.
Okay.
Yes, Varsha.
So, yeah, yeah. So, when a cluster manager goes down, right, there will not be any issue with the indexing or searching. Like in Indexer, the indexing will continue working, and also the searches will continue to perform the searches. Also, the replication will be still working. The replication will be working within the indexes, right? So there won't be any issues with the replication. But there will be some limitations. So this limitation happens when one of the indexer goes down while the cluster manager is down. So at this point of time, the bucket fixing activity will not take place. Okay. And also the replication, due to the bucket fixing activity, the data will not be available in the other indexes. So these are the things that will happen when the cluster manager goes down. So let's see in real, like where to find this thing. So where to check if the cluster manager is down or not. Yeah, let me share my screen. Yeah. So like for today's session, we have a cluster environment of 9 components. We have like 3 indexes, 3 searches, and one management server. It is going to consist of the deployer, deployment server, monitoring console, and license manager. And we are going to have the cluster master and the intermediate forwarder. So what I'm going to do is that, let me first log in into the management server.
Varsha, can you please quickly give a walkthrough on our environment? Like,
Yes, yeah. I'll show it in the monitoring console. Yes. Yeah. So here we have totally 9 components. So we have the cluster master, intermediate forwarder, management server. So management server is a one single server. It is co-located. Like we have deployment server, deployer, monitoring console, and license manager. And we have 3 searches, they are clustered together, and 3 indexes, they are clustered together. Right. So now we can see all the instances are in the upstate. So at this point of time, I will stop this cluster manager and let's see what are the issues we are facing. So, yeah. So the cluster master is getting stopped.
okay. So in the meantime, can you guys tell me like what happens when? What is the impact of the if the cluster master goes whatever we are aware of so far? Wants to talk?
Yes. Let me refresh this again. Yeah. Now the cluster master has been stopped. So first place where we can check is the monitoring console, because it's going to give us an overview of our whole environment, and we can just refresh this one. And here we can see that our cluster master is unreachable, which means the server is down. So this is the place we can verify that. And also we have another place that, let's see, it is any one of the indexer. So we can log in into any one of the indexer. So right, let me just refresh. So in the messages, we could see the peer node has lost connection to the cluster manager. So these are the two places we can verify, like the main two places we can say. So we can see whether the cluster master is available or not. So this is the scenario for the cluster master, like what happens when the cluster master is down. So any questions on this?
No.
Like, what happens if we have primary and secondary kind of clustering? Uh, I think there will not be any effect. If primary is down, the secondary will take place.
Exactly.
But still, uh, how can we do it? My question was, how we can we configure that a primary and secondary in a different multi-site in two different locations? If they are in two different locations, how we can configure that actually?
Okay, so you're talking about disaster recovery, or is it regarding the configuration of multi-site cluster?
Yeah, not configuration of multi-site cluster actually.
Okay.
The configuration of the primary and secondary uh, manager, cluster
Okay,
manager, you can say.
right. So when it comes to the concept of multi-site cluster, right? Even if we have multiple indexer clusters in different sites, we will have a single cluster manager, which will be
Mm-hmm.
managing everything. Okay. So it depends. We, okay. Did we discuss the impact, Varsha? Not yet, right?
Yes, Ramya, we have told it right already. Like when the cluster manager is down, right? This indexing and searches will take continue to take place. But if the indexer goes down during when the cluster manager is down, that time the replication will be an issue.
Right. So when the replication is going to be an issue, right? At that time, when you're if it is in case of a multi-site cluster, right, it is going to be based on your replication factor, site replication factor, and site search factor. So are you aware of that, like
Yeah,
what is
yeah,
the
yeah,
site
yeah, yeah.
right? So when this cluster manager is going to be down, your primary copy it sorry, so your primary copy is whatever is available, it will be working as it is. So are you asking if the primary copy goes down, what is going to happen? Like the indexer which has
Um,
the primary copy? I still not
no,
clear.
actually, like for example,
Mm-hmm.
my question was like normally we can have a primary and a secondary, two manager nodes, right?
Yes.
Okay. Ah,
Okay, if they both are in different locations, if one goes down, I think there will be no impact. As usually, the indexing goes well and searching goes well, replication and everything is will be working fine. As secondary overtakes the ownership, but how do we configure that as a primary and secondary?
okay.
That
So
was the
when it's to our knowledge, whatever we have did so far, right? So it we have configured only one cluster manager for the
hmm
multiple multi-site indexer cluster. So if you're
okay.
asking about two cluster manager, we are not aware of it. So maybe we'll check and we'll get back to you in the
That's
next
fine.
session.
Yeah.
Right, right. I mixed up with the indexers and the cluster
That,
manager.
that that's
So
fine. No
sorry.
issue.
Yeah. Yes, Varsha.
Yeah. Okay. So I hope everything is clear with the first scenario, right? So I'll go to the next scenario where I will bring up the cluster manager. And once cluster manager is up, I'm going to stop the indexer, one of the indexer. So in a cluster of three indexes, right, let's say we have a replication factor and search factor is equal to 3. So can anyone explain like what could be the consequence will be there? Like one, if one indexer goes down, what are the issues we could face?
Like basically, if one goes down, the tolerance is two. There will be not much impact actually. We
Mm-hmm.
just get a notification. We can check that in the SQL query by using the services, or
Mm-hmm.
we can check the messages as well. Or from the CLI, we can just check the cluster status hyphen verbose, where we can check all the details and which node is down,
Mm-hmm.
and just we will restart that if possible. If there is any other issue which is related to the KV store or any other configurations which is causing the issue, then it will take much more impact than what is expected actually.
Yeah, yeah, that's right. So when one indexer goes down, there will not be any much impact on the environment. So that even users will not be aware that indexer is down. So the end user will not be aware of this situation. So also the searches and indexing it will continue to happen. the data will get replicated. Since the cluster manager is up, the data will get replicated. There won't be any issues. The bucket fixing activity will take down. So let me just stop this indexer one. And we can check, like we can see where to check. So let's first go to the monitoring console. Let me refresh this. It is still stopping. Yeah, that would take like 30 seconds. Let's just wait for that. Okay, let me refresh it. Yes. Now we can see the indexer one is down. So this is one of the place we can find this one. And also we can check it in our cluster manager. So I will log in into the cluster manager as well. So we can go to settings and we can go for this indexer clustering. Yes. And here we can see one of the indexer is down. So which means like it is not working, like it's showing us the status as shutting down. And also if we go to the indexes, we could see like the gray thing, right? The gray color, it is getting changed. So this is what we call it as the bucket fixing activity. So the cluster manager is doing the bucket fixing activity with other two indexers. So once it is done, we could see the search factor is met now. Yeah. So these are the two places where we can like where we can check whether the indexer has been down or not. So any questions on this, please? Okay. So if no questions, I will go to the next scenario. And can anyone explain what happens if two indexers are down?
So the application factor is 3, right? So another indexer will be
Could you
available for
please
search.
speak loudly, Kishore?
Am I audible now?
Yeah, you're audible.
Yeah, so the replication factor is 3, right? So the tolerance system. So if two indexes are down, then we can able to search for the from third indexer. Is it correct? Correct
Yes.
me if I'm wrong.
Yes, that's right. So if two indexes goes
Thank you.
down, since the search factor is met, right, we can still search the data in the third indexer. So now I will try the same scenario. I will just bring down the indexer 2 as well. Yeah, while it's stopping. So I would like to understand, like I would like to ask you guys. So if the second indexer goes down, do we still get full data or will there be partial results? Do we get any kind of these issues? Okay. So we at initially when the indexer to a second indexer goes down, we would get the partial result. But once the bucket fixing activity is completed, right, we will get the full results. So we need to remember what is the search factor and replication factor. Based on that, this scenario could change. So if we gave the replication factor and search factor as one, right, we will get only the partial result. So we need to have an understanding of that as well. Yes. So
Varsha,
mhm.
can you explain a bit more about bucket fixing activity?
Yes. So, like bucket fixing activity is that like the data will get replicated, right? Let's say we have three indexes and our replication factor is 3 and search factor is 2. So, when the replication factor is 3, you will have 3 copies of the raw data and 2 copies of the searchable data. So, when one of the indexer goes down, the cluster manager will create another TS-IDX file. So the searchable copy of data is there, right? It will create based on this raw data, and this is what we call it as the bucket fixing activity. So during this time, when the indexer goes down, the cluster manager will take some time. So during this time, we will get the partial results. So once it is up, right? I mean, once the process is done, we will get the full results. I hope it is clear.
Okay.
I made it very
Yes,
quick.
yes,
Yeah.
yes, yes.
Yes.
Thank you.
So let's again we will be checking on the management server. So here we have two indexes is down. Also, we will check on the cluster manager. Yeah, yeah. So we can see two indexers are down, and also we can see only one copy of data is available. So that's what we are meaning. So but both the data is both replicated and searchable. So we can the searches can run and it can give us the full results in this scenario. So any questions here? Like with this scenario, I believe it is clear now.
What happens if three indexes get down?
Yes, that is our next scenario. So you guys need to answer
Okay,
us.
okay.
So yeah, any guesses like what will happen if three indexes goes down?
Get any data.
That's right. So that's right. Actually, that is the correct answer basically. So if all three indexes goes down, right, we will not get any data. So that is the thing. So I will stop the third indexer as well. And user will not be able to perform any searches. So again, we can check in the same place in the monitoring console. Okay, it's still stopping.
Hope the servers did not crash.
Not until now.
Okay.
In company, they didn't I
Yeah. Okay.
clean
Let's
up the
talk
server.
this internal. Let's keep it internal. Okay.
Yes. So third indexer has been stopped, and in the monitoring console, we can see all the three indexes are down now. And also in the cluster manager, we cannot see any of the indexes available. So from this, we can confirm. Oh, sorry. Here we can see all three indexes are not available, and the index related information is also not available. Also, we can run a search on the searcher, and we can find from that. So let me log into the searcher. Let me put index equal to main, and you can see, I believe you can see this error. So it means that the indexes are not available. So that is the thing. So we cannot perform searches also. So this is the scenario. Any questions here until, I mean, until this, whatever scenarios we have seen?
So, Varsha, if one indexer got up, right, so we will get the full data.
Okay, that depends on the replication factor and search factor we are configuring. So if you configure like in a three indexer cluster, you configure the replication factor and search factor as the replication factor as 3 and search factor as 2, yes, we can see the data. But if you configure the replication factor as 1 and search factor as 1, we cannot see the data. That's how it works.
So it depends actually. Like as the bucket fixing activity will be happening. So fixing activity's main aim is to make all the data searchable. But suddenly, if only one indexer is up, remaining indexer down, for a moment, for a period of time, you will not get all of the data. So once the cluster becomes valid, right? Once the cluster becomes valid, so valid means for all data you have a searchable copy. So at that time, then yes, it will be searchable. But for some period of time, you won't get complete data. Once the bucket fixing activity is completed, then you will get all the data. Okay, fine.
Okay, that is all for today's scenarios. Like we have discussed about the four scenarios with respect to the indexer cluster. So, anyone has any question on these scenarios?
I think some people joined just now.
Okay. So, for people who have joined now, we have discussed about the indexer cluster scenarios, like what happens if the cluster manager is down, one indexer is down, two indexers is down. So, we will be uploading this recording in the YouTube as well, so you can watch it whenever you have some time.
Right. This is also available in our free course in the Softmania website. You can check it out. In that as well, you will be able to see the same scenarios what are we are discussing. Be able to. So like I said in the
Shall I
starting,
have one question?
yes, Kish.
Like, can you tell us like what are the steps we have to take after? I mean, indexes goes down, like interview based answer. If the interview asks this question, what are the steps you're going to take?
Your voice was not clear.
If all
Kish. Can you please? What are the steps you will take?
what are the steps we are going to take if all indexes are going down like goes down to make it up and running?
Yeah, that is a good question actually. The first thing is like we need to check. This is not a Splunk side. You need to check whether it is a Splunk is down or the complete server is down. So that first thing you need to check, right? If once you make sure that
Okay.
your servers are down and Splunk is down, and once Splunk is down, there is no other way. You have to start the Splunk. You have to start the indexer one by one and make sure the indexers are coming up. Okay. Once the indexers are up, then only you can go for the internal logs, because indexer is the place where all the internal logs are stored. You have to log into internal indexer and check the internal logs, check the latest message. So in each indexer there will be internal logs. You can filter, when the indexer was down, right? Go to that particular time range and check the last message came in the internal logs of all three indexers, right? And with that you will understand, okay, what was the last message which triggered everything to stop. So it's a lengthy process, but the first step is you need to start each indexer one by one, then only you can do further action actually.
Okay. Logs in the sense Splunk logs, right? We have
Splunk
to check.
logs, correct. Splunk logs, correct. Internal
Okay.
logs, index equal to underscore internal, or you can go for a Splunk logs. And there is something called crash logs in Splunk. So sometimes if Splunk is crashing, Splunk will put all the information, the crash.log. So there you can go and you can understand. So most of the times, like Splunk will be stopping because the indexer queue is full, or the disk space is full, or some other reason, some other server restart, or like somebody has executed some heavy searches, like which is consuming the lot of CPU. There are a number of reasons, but yeah, everything can be checked in a Splunk log.
Sure, sure.
Yeah.
Sure. Thanks.
There is one doubt I have.
Yes.
If I go to the Splunk log, right, and
Yeah.
if I choose the component as indexer,
Mm.
so it will show the detail of all the indexer which is there in my environment, all the single, or I need to go to simultaneously each and every indexer.
Yeah, yeah.
Like,
So in a component, it won't show the indexer name. Actually, there are 1,500 components in that. Maybe Varsha, if you can share your screen
Yes,
for
yes.
yeah.
Yeah.
So there will be index equal to underscore internal. Component will be a different processor. So you need to go for indexer processor. So that processor will show you all indexer details. Then you need to go for host filter. So host filter, where you will find that particular host information. So just by component alone won't help you. In the
okay,
component filter, you need to go for host filter
host,
and then
host,
Splunk server filter. Yeah, three
okay.
filters you need to do. I mean, that's fine, Varsha. I mean, if you have only one server,
Yeah. Okay. So like
maybe you can open our production. Our production, we have our
There is a
production.
standalone.
oh
Mm.
yeah, yeah.
Yeah. Actually, good thing about like the Splunk processes, right? There are, as I said, there are 1,500 plus processors. So you need to know which processor to check in which scenario. I mean, there is no detailed guide. To be frank, nowhere in Splunk, also in Splunk document, nowhere they said these are all the components related to this particular processor. But there is a one file and the backend. So log.cfg. Okay, if you go to etc, let me type out that. So opt. Yeah, opt/splunk etc and I think log.cfg. So this is the file where you can go and you can check what are all the processor, what are all the components related to particular activity. Let's say for a deployment server, right? From between the deployment server and forwarder, if there is a communication happens, where do you want to go and check? So you can go to this log file. Here you can check. Okay, for a deployment server, these are all the log channels. For this indexer, crashing things and all, there is a separate processor. So you have to learn more about it. To be frank, I'm
Okay.
also learning day to day. So, so troubleshooting is a never-ending story. Yeah. I hope that was
Yeah.
clear.
It's password.
Okay, thanks, Shraddha, for the information. And maybe Varsha, before first you can show the loggings, the components. So go to
Yes.
settings, please. Settings, yeah, server settings, server login,
uh
server
okay.
third last year. So you see here there are thousand. How many?
643.
640. Okay, they have added 140 more. So every release they are adding more. Like I saw like when it was 500 long back in 6 version. So these are all the individual process log channels which is having. So rather than just directly going and checking the Splunk internal logs, right? Try to first understand which processor is doing your job. For example, like indexer. Can you type indexer? This index, maybe just indexer. Enter. So you see, so these are all the 50 processors related to indexer, okay, or index related activities. You see the indexer config, index bootstrapper, index delete, index name, index name, index processor. So you need to understand what this each processor, which processor is responsible for doing your activity. Then you can go to internal logs. There, component equal to you keep this particular log channel. Then you will be able to narrow down. Okay, but yeah, it's a lengthy process.
Got it.
Any other questions?
No, Madam.
Okay. Thank you.
Where I need to go here means what is the path I didn't saw previously? Can you
Settings,
please
Settings,
server
server,
mention
settings.
again?
server
Yeah.
login.
Settings. Okay.
Yeah.
Settings. Okay.
And here.
Overlapping. Okay. Good. Thank you.
Yeah.
There is no can close. Okay. Okay, then like I said in the beginning, we'll be having a weekly session on this interview based scenario based interview questions. So we'll meet next week. The search at clusters.
Thank you, guys. Thank you, guys,
It
for
Thank
will be
providing
on
this.
weekend or the weekdays because weekdays we have a index like admin and development class also. So
There are
Same
too many
reason, Shirvi.
sessions
That's the
happening.
reason we are scheduling it on the weekdays, actually.
yeah, great.
Yeah, yeah. Like
Okay.
the recordings will be available, right? You
Okay.
can watch it later. Yeah.
Okay.
Thanks, everyone.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Thank you
Have a
all.
Thank
great
Bye.
day. Bye.
Thank
Bye.
you. Have a nice weekend.